Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a podcast by Practical E-Commerce.
What's going on, Internet? Eric Benholtz back again with another E-Commerce Conversations. I got Braxton Manley here in the Austin, Texas beard brand office, and we're going to be talking about his company, Braxley Bands. Welcome.
Thank you. I don't know how I ended up here, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, well, I know how you ended up here. You got a haircut at the Beard Brand Barbershop a couple months ago and said hey, and you've been following me on Twitter. I've talked about this on previous podcasts a bunch, man. Get on Twitter.
That's right.
Cool place. Are you much of a Twitter user? Is that kind of your jam?
Yes, but I don't like to post too much.
Okay, so you're more of a lurker.
I'm more of a lurker. Yeah, a learner too. You go on there and there's just all kinds of little gold nuggets to, take in, and it's real quick, and it's all also hyper relevant and great networking tools. So I love it. I do want to start posting more and sharing some stuff, but yeah.
So guys, this is going to be a fun podcast because if you're around your computer right now, head over to Braxley Bands. It's braxleybands.com, right?
That's right.
And they've built, or at least designed, one of the coolest looking websites I've seen. It's got like the cool vintage, like 90s. Is it 90s, 80s?
Both. It's just supposed to evoke a,
time of yesterday.
Retro thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it reminds me a lot of my youth and growing up, and kind of like, I'm going to throw some shade at my own beard brand website, which is a little more on the corporate side and, blah. Yours is like a breath of fresh air. So has the website always looked like that?
Well, to some extent, yes. I mean, we, started on a Wix website because.
Oh my God, Wix?
So yeah, we scaled this thing from literally $20 up front. So we went with the cheapest option and didn't know anything much about e-commerce. We just heard it was the easiest one to design your own thing. So designed our website there, and it's sort of constantly evolved over the years, but we've always kept that same sort of retro, playful, colorful theme.
Yeah, a lot of like gradients and pastel colors and kind of like handwritten fonts. So I assume you're no longer on Wix, right?
That's right. We're on Shopify Plus now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Moving up to the Plus. Did y'all design the website in-house, or did you work with a third party for that?
We worked with FuelMade.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I know you're familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Very happy with.
FuelMade, Carson McCombs was on the show probably about 50 episodes ago. It's been a long time, but they do great work over there. And how did you go about deciding that you needed a custom-built website?
Well, I was trying to learn how to code stuff myself and basically couldn't get anywhere with it other than, changing the fonts and making stuff a little bigger, smaller. So, because we were working with a template on Shopify for a year. And then we just, with the cash flows, we knew what it cost to do a custom theme. And actually, it's funny, the way we got connected with FuelMade was because I was listening to a podcast where they were doing a sweepstakes, like $50,000 website build sweepstakes. And I think we got second place. Yeah. We lost to Supply.
Patrick, Patrick, who's also been on this podcast as well. So I think you guys have a great story. Why don't you go ahead and give that a quick little rundown, how you came up with the name and how you got started.
So I was a sophomore at Texas Tech, and there was this program there called 3-Day Startup, which is basically a weekend workshop where you learn everything about, the core of entrepreneurship, like come up with the idea, do the market research, and then develop it, try to come up with a minimum viable product, and then you go and pitch to investors essentially on that Sunday. So within like 48 hours that it's all done, and you get paired up with groups. There's like 6 or 7 groups. My idea at the time was just cool Apple Watch bands. It was like Generation 1 Apple Watch. So they were really new, and there was not a lot of stuff on the market. But Apple designed these things to be interchangeable. So, you can swap these bands out in a matter of 3-4 seconds. And the only thing on the market was, your typical black, brown, silver. So I saw this as like a blank canvas, and like there's clearly a opportunity here to get really creative. So basically through that workshop, we developed it. We came up with the name Braxley Bands, which was not even my idea. I was like, surely we'll come up with something better. And then it got too late. We just ran with it. And
Braxley is
Braxton, first and last name.
Yeah, Braxton Manley. So the first part of Braxton then.
Yeah, so it is a good name for the fact that there's no sort of handles or domains taken. So we're the only Braxley around, which is cool. Yeah, and so after that class project ended, I got with my best buddy, Grant, who was, I met him just through my fraternity and in the dorms and stuff. And he had taken a sewing class in high school to meet girls. And so he was an expert at sewing, and I was trying to figure out how to stitch socks. At the time, we were using socks as the material that we were making the bands out of. And he was a total wizard on a sewing machine, and I'd borrowed it from my Nana. And we basically partnered up. We're like, dude, let's start making these sock bands, and started selling them to our friends on campus just through Venmo. Basically, literally put $20 into like socks and then a couple of these metal pieces that we got on eBay.
So you just found like socks like off the shelf.
Yeah, like ones with cool patterns, like that'd be thick. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Just the crew part, and eventually transitioned to a better material, which is a woven polyester that is really pretty sturdy, yet also machine washable, and it's very flexible. So stuff like yoga or kettlebell workouts where you need to move the watch to the other side of your wrist, it's way better functionally than anything else out there because of the elasticity. And also what's cool is we can print on it and do all kinds of cool patterns. So it's a blank canvas.
Yeah. And adjustable too, or is it just stretchy?
Just stretchy.
Yeah.
So we have different sizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many SKUs are you guys dealing with?
Oof. Yeah, it's a lot because we have 4 band sizes, small through XL. And then Apple decided to make our lives harder by coming out with 2 watch sizes. I don't know why they did that. So that doubles it to 8. And we have at any given time around 25 to 35 designs.
Yeah.
So just do the math. It's a lot.
8 times 35 is
a couple hundred. I don't know.
I was never good at math.
Me either. But it changes, and that's been the hard part in terms of scaling our business, is having the inventory down, because there will be months at a time where in a really popular style, a size will be completely sold out.
Yeah.
And the statistics behind buying is a real part of my job and something I'm learning.
It's kind of interesting. A couple things. I want to first echo the 3-day startup you did. Beard Brand started the same way with a startup weekend, where I found out that I worked well with my business partners doing the exact same thing as you. So if anyone has any of those in their local area, I highly recommend you do that. Even if you're an experienced entrepreneur, just to be able to connect with other smart people and get to know how they work. It's absolutely phenomenal. So glad to hear you went through something like that. So you're a sophomore, right?
I was.
So are you still going to school, or do you drop out of school, or like talk about like the early traction and what that looked like and what kind of volume you're doing, if you're willing to share?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so there's this romanticized idea about entrepreneurs dropping out.
Yeah.
But universities are catching on to that, and I think they're actually empowering students to be entrepreneurs now, because that's how they have to evolve. And so our university was really good to us in that way, where they built this sort of incubator for students. It's called the Innovation Hub. And it was a maker space, and that's where they hosted this weekend workshop. So actually going to school and staying in school, even though we were working on this thriving business, was the best thing we could have done, because they gave us an office. We actually won a $5,000 grant pretty early on through the university, and they gave us a lot of just good PR. I mean, the newspaper wrote about us early on, and it was an amazing platform to start a business out of, which I don't think we could have done that if we weren't in a university.
So it was you and you had one business partner at the time, or?
That's right.
And what happened to all the people who also worked on the project? Did they want to stay involved, or they had?
Yeah, we kind of just parted ways. I mean, I was obviously taking it very seriously, and this is kind of my dream. I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And then a year before that, I think I read 4-Hour Workweek. So I was like fascinated by this idea of an online business and having the freedom to sort of run it wherever. So I wanted to, basically just go with it. And, through everybody's efforts, kind of people dropped out and realized like, okay, this is who's taking it seriously. It ended up just being me and then my buddy Grant, who wasn't a part of the original project, but we partnered up.
Did you have any like equity drama where people felt entitled to a piece of the business because they were involved in that?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. How did you work that out? Any words of wisdom or?
Yeah, I think it's just about being very clear with the people who may join early on, but don't necessarily deserve equity. That's not in the equation. I mean, that was the thing, is we tried to hire it wasn't in the original project, but one of the guys on campus he was a finance guy, so we wanted to be the numbers guy. And basically it didn't work out because all he wanted was equity. And we're like, dude, there's no reason, we're not going to give you equity. And frankly, there wasn't enough work. So that's the other thing, is we got too eager to hire people. We're like, oh yeah, we're growing. Right. And then we're like, oh wait, we can totally just do this ourselves. We don't need all this right now, because at the time, I mean, we were maybe doing a couple $100 a day, and we were making them all ourselves. We were running the whole show. I mean,
right.
Everything. And yeah, I think the tough lesson learned was one, don't hire friends and don't hire people that you don't absolutely need at the time. Don't hire just to hire.
Yeah. I think a couple other lessons I might add on to there is I think there's like vesting schedules and things like that. So if they're still with the business like 2 years later after committing to it, full time for 2 years, then they earn their equity or something like that. But
yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
To just give everyone a piece of the pie up front, not knowing where they're going to go, is probably a good way to kind of avoid headaches in the future by not doing that kind of stuff. So how big's your team now?
Well, it's 3 of us, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, we just hired my younger brother, Zach, at the start of this year.
Yeah.
To take on just various roles. And he's a numbers guy. I'm more creative. So we balance each other out really well in that way.
Yeah. How are you guys divvying up the work? I assume that you're still not sewing socks. Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, you already mentioned what you're doing. But yeah, talk about kind of like how you evolved the product, how the customers reacted to those changes.
Yeah.
And how you've been able to continue to scale it up and grow.
Absolutely. So yeah, the way we sort of explain our work dynamic, our job dynamic is Grant, my co-founder, is focused on today and I'm focused on tomorrow. And what that really means is, Grant's dealing with the customer service, the fulfillment, and the ads. And I'm dealing with more of the creative, the brand direction, and the new designs, the supply chain, all that stuff, making sure we have enough product coming in. And that's been a delicate balance. So the product stayed largely the same ever since we truly launched. When we were making them with socks, we didn't even have a website up. Those were pretty much just prototypes. So everything has really stayed pretty steady in terms of product goes since the original launch. And, it's like we're getting some amazing feedback on our reviews where people are just shocked by how much better these are, frankly, than what else is out there. And we're like, this is good. We just figured it out and we don't need to change it.
Yeah. How do you see the company continuing to grow and evolve? You've got the domain, it's braxleybands.com. Do you have braxley.com as well? Or
no, but that's in the works because, so the way we're going to evolve the company is to basically design extraordinary elastic products.
Okay.
And we have 2 new things in sort of the design prototype stage right now that we're working out. But I'll give a little glimpse into the future. We got a utility belt. A belt that's basically going to match the band, and it's got an amazing clip on it. The idea is it can turn any pair of pants into an elastic waistband, super comfortable pair of pants. Also, hats.
Oh, yeah.
So fitted hats are comfortable, but they don't look that great. So we're combining the traditional snapback style with fitted elastic. And like these things being blank canvases, we're going to basically be able to have all kinds of different patterns on that signature snapback adjustable part of the hat. So those are 2 things that we hope to have out by fall 2021. Yeah.
Headbands, huh? Are those in the works?
We prototyped a couple of those, but I don't know. It's a little bit tricky to, I think, I don't know if they're useful enough, but they're cool. I have some. I should have brought one for you.
Yeah, because my mullet's getting a lot of flow right now. And I've just been thinking man, how cool would it be to have a nice long mullet and some cool headband?
I actually we have several headbands made.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's in the works too. It's just a matter of which ones do we want to come out with first. We can't just do it all at once.
Yeah, I can't imagine the demand for headbands is super high out there, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
Young kids.
That's right. But the Apple Watch band market is massive. I mean, the Apple Watch is now the most popular watch in the world in terms of units sold. And the great thing about our bands is, oftentimes people have a dozen different styles of ours because you can change them out with your outfits. And we're constantly putting out new designs. So they're sort of a collectible thing, especially for teens and, kids are into that type stuff. So I feel like we're not even ready to move into another product segment until we reach our maturity with the Apple Watch bands, which we haven't done yet.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good focus. Do you guys, in terms of product, do you all focus on core items that you'll always have and you'll always restock, or is everything limited edition, or is it a balance?
It's a balance. I mean, ultimately, we're just seeing what the demand is for the designs. If there's one that's flying off the shelves, right now, the Smiley band, which was one of our new ones, it's yellow and smiley faces. It sells 3 or 4 times more than the next one. So clearly that one is coming back.
Yeah.
But also we're just testing out new stuff. We want to have one for everybody, everybody's style. There's one on our site for you.
Yeah. I always could appreciate Supreme and kind of they do a lot of limited edition stuff too, don't they?
Oh yeah.
They just put their logo on there. Do they do anything that's just standard stock, or is it all limited edition?
Yeah, I think they do a blend. I mean, they have some ones that are evergreen.
Yeah, but that white T-shirt with their logo.
Yeah, but I think the idea is to, keep the classics. We'll never get rid of the plain black one, because that's also one of the most popular ones. But it's also fun to come out with, more limited ones or seasonal ones. We did a buffalo plaid for the holidays, and going to keep messing around with stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. How are you getting in front of your intended audience, your customers?
Well, that's always evolving, of course. But right now, Snapchat is performing the best for us as far as ad buying goes, paid ads. Yeah, Snapchat's amazing. And I think it's just product market fit. That's, are really popular amongst younger adults. What's funny is a lot of times, a lot of our reviews are like, yeah, I bought this for my grandma and it's her favorite band ever because she doesn't have to mess with the buckles or the clasps, which makes sense. And both my grandmas love them. So
I think you're the first person I've ever met that's found success in Snapchat. Like, walk me through that. Like, what does the creative look like? What do your funnels look like?
Yeah.
What are the call to actions, the value props that you're putting in there?
Yeah. It comes down to knowing how short an attention span is. And also, we design these for story 9:16, I think it is. Yeah. And I also do everything on my phone because it's like you have to design it on your phone if you want it to be seen on a phone. And really quick, very vibrant, like eye-catching videos and images. Like, I'd love to show some examples visually, but...
Are there models in it or people in it, or is it just product focused?
Usually it's just product focused. In fact, the one that works the best for us is just on a spinning light box, really close up, so you can like see the fine texture of the band, and it's just spinning really slow. We have like cool music behind it, and like we just list out a few key things like machine washable, lightweight, 30 designs, one band sold as one tree planted, and like boom.
Yeah, dopest band you'll ever wear.
Yeah, and they're like watch band of the future is our thing right now. Yeah, you just got to keep it really simple, I think.
And then they click on that and they go to the homepage, or?
That's right. Yeah, we're going to start working with landing pages, but right now they just go to the homepage.
Okay. What kind of return on ad spend are you seeing for that?
On a good one, we're seeing like a 5x.
Oh, really? Do you like segment out the traffic at all, or is it just...
Well, see, now we're getting into the stuff that I'm not an expert in because that's my partner, Grant, who focuses on that. I know a base level on everything, but I try to sort of specialize in... Well, yeah, but more in the content side of things. Like I more communicate with him on like what's working because I make most of that, and then he's the one executing on the ads. So I don't know a lot of the science behind the funnels and the cold traffic versus. So
else. I want to dig a little bit deeper into Snapchat, primarily because what I hear is most people are afraid of Facebook. Facebook's going crazy. It's getting really expensive to market on Facebook, Instagram. And then I heard, it seemed like Snapchat was offered to be bought out 5 years ago, something like that, and they turned it down, and then Instagram came out with stories and seemingly crushed them. And then TikTok comes out too. But from what I can see, it seems like Snapchat is still around and thriving with its audiences. Are you a Snapchat user?
Yeah, but I'm just think a couple years too old for it to be like the main platform. But I know everybody younger than me, anybody that's basically in high school or college right now, Snapchat is the number one app.
Even more than TikTok?
Well, I think that's just different. Probably both of those, but definitely both of those are more popular than Instagram.
Really?
Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're going after younger people,
yes,
you have to be on Snapchat and TikTok.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. I wish I would have bought Snapchat stock a while ago because I knew that. Like I was talking to, my younger cousin and some younger kids about it. They're like, yeah, Snapchat is everything. Like we don't even use iMessage. Yeah. They just talk on Snapchat.
As a non-Snap, dude, one day you'll feel like this, as one of the old people. They're really like, these young people doing their Snapchats and things. I don't get it. It's just for friends, right? Generally speaking, there's no public page or building a profile and having millions of followers, right? Or is there that too?
Not really. Yeah, they haven't built that out extremely well. I know there are celebrities that you can follow in a different way than your friends. But yeah, they have a lot of work to do, I think, when it comes to discovering brands. We don't have a brand presence. It's just paid ads.
Okay.
There's no organic thing for us on Snapchat. So I think that's something they need to build out. I'm sure they're, sort of identifying ways to do that.
Yeah. Have y'all tinkered into any other channels or Snapchat?
Well, TikTok is pretty good for us.
Organic or paid as well?
Organic.
Okay.
Paid, I think, has a lot of work to do. We're not really doing any paid yet because the targeting isn't good. One of the tricky things for us is we have to target Apple Watch users. That's not easy to get that niche.
Yeah.
Well, it is on Instagram because they're so good. We can know what devices they're using. TikTok, we don't really know that yet, but organic TikTok is amazing. We posted 2 videos that I think the last video we posted has over 250,000 views now. And we just posted it last week and it attributed to the best sales day we've had since Black Friday.
Really?
Just because we posted this video that went semi-viral.
Yeah. So how are you creating content on TikTok then?
It's super simple. It's literally about doing the lowest production value you can.
Yeah.
Like trying to make it seem very
Real.
casual and real. Yeah. And so, I mean, it literally took me 15 minutes to make. I'm like, hey, I'm about to show you a game changer for your Apple Watch. And then basically just had a point of view shot at my wrist and just talking it through for about 30 seconds about why the bands are great and just kind of showing it off. Simple as that. Took me 15 minutes to make.
But it's just like product focus too.
Oh, yeah. Well, but we also told the story like, hey, I kind of led with, this was a class project, and then just said, machine washable. And also from a, I guess you call it customer discovery or like sort of market research standpoint, we realized how much people resonate with the machine washable part.
Yeah.
Like we weren't putting that maybe clear enough on our stuff. And so many people in the comments were like, oh, machine washable, I'm sold. So learning from that was really cool to see, get this direct feedback from so many customers.
How did you first learn it was machine washable? Did you all test that, or was it a customer who did it?
You know what's funny is like, I don't think I've ever actually washed one myself.
Yeah.
We just said it and then we're like, no complaints? I guess they are. And then turns out they are. I mean, it's really just woven polyester. So yeah, you can wash it.
Yeah.
And people have now done it for like 4 years. So
yeah, I would imagine the only thing you'd worry about is like the clips breaking or doing something.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that.
we used to have an issue with that. So now all the metal pieces that we use are totally custom for us, made in one piece. Be careful if you're looking on Amazon for the knockoffs. They're not using the right adapters and they'll break.
Yeah. Are y'all selling on Amazon?
No, I'm an anti-Amazon guy, as you are.
That's my kind of guy.
You got to own the relationship.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's not even something you've even thought about then, huh?
Well, we've thought about it, but it doesn't feel right. And I mean, we've also had such good sales on our own website that we can barely keep stuff in stock. It doesn't make sense for us to even explore that yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I said at the beginning of the podcast, you guys got to check out the website. It definitely like creates so much character to the brand. I'm also a fan of a brand called Pit Viper. I don't know if you're familiar with it. The first time I ever saw their website, I thought it was a complete joke. I'm like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
And your website kind of has a similar vibe, not the same design by any regards, but that similar feel. And you're just not going to get that on Amazon.
No.
You're going to be compared to the Chinese knockoff,
Yep.
Junk products.
Yeah. And I mean,
with fake reviews.
Nobody buys something on Amazon because of the brand. They buy it because of the price and the reviews, and they have no idea who made it or the story behind it or anything. So consider that when you are building something. Like, is that who you want to be, or do you want to own the relationship and get your story out there? And, think about it in terms of abundance. Like, you can build a very profitable business not ever touching Amazon. You don't have to be there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But I think it's like you said, you have to be a brand kind of person to find success off of Amazon. But if you're not a brand person and you're a numbers person, a data person, like operations person, then Amazon's going to be a great place for you. So really like find your skills and lean towards the platforms that highlight your skills. I want to talk about getting these made. You have them made in China, right?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine anyone who's ever started a brand new company and started working in China that they haven't had headaches. What are some of the learned lessons that you have in terms of, sourcing products from China and making sure that it does meet the quality requirements that you guys have?
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. It's kind of a touchy subject because we used to make them in Austin, and I would love to be able to make them in Austin or in the U.S. for that matter.
LA.
But we actually had a lot of quality issues here in Austin.
Really?
Yeah, the quality is actually much better now, and the communication is much better now than it was when we were building them here. Which
Better
is
communication
ironic.
is crazy. Yeah, because different time zone, different language.
Yeah, we just found a really good factory, and we've been working with these people for, I guess, almost 3 years now.
Have you gone to China to tour the factory or anything like that? Or
no, but so the way it works kind of for us is we have a guy who lives in New York, and he runs a business selling these webbing products. That's kind of how we found him. And he has this relationship with this factory, and I guess this is kind of like the tricky part about like explaining this in the right way, but I would like to go there. It's just, I don't really need to.
Yeah.
It's a really, I know it's a really well run. We work with good people over there. We're definitely not working with the cheapest,
How are you guys doing like QA to just ensure, like the best versions also are equal to the worst versions?
Well, yeah, I mean, early on, that was something we had to do very hands-on and inspect everyone, make sure they were good. But now, like, they're so well run over there, and they take our feedbacks so easily that we don't have to worry about it. We haven't had a quality issue in ages.
Yeah. So it's just finding the right vendor. How many vendors did y'all have to go through before you've settled on this company?
I mean, it was that easy. It was the first one. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we found this guy in New York, and we started buying the elastic from him and then producing it in Austin. And then after a while, he's like, hey, like, do you want me to see if I can produce these for you overseas? You know, we work with this amazing factory who, you know, they were producing the elastic. We're like, yeah, let's try it out. Turns out it was a million times better in every regard. But yeah, it's just a nuanced thing, you know. But, you know, the Chinese, they really do know how to manufacture.
Are you doing your packaging in China as well, or are you shipping the bands over and then assembling them here in the States?
It's all done over there. So that's what's kind of nice about it is it's really like end to end, like they got it taken care of. And I actually just really communicate with the guy in New York. I don't have to talk directly on a daily basis to the factory itself, and it's all kind of taken care of for us. So it's a polished system right now.
Yeah, so the packaging, I have it here in my hands right now. It's about the size of a giant phone, right?
Yeah.
And they've got a clear display area, which is probably nice because you only have to have like, what, 2 different boxes in terms of like
just
packages?
one box.
Oh, it's just one?
Yep.
That will serve all 4 sizes?
Yep.
Or I guess all 8 sizes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just switch out the stickers on the front.
Oh, cool. So the name is the Sunset.
Yeah, but that's actually not the Sunset.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's an interesting looking sunset.
Yeah.
It's blue and white. Do you guys have plans to get into retail? Like, is that on the horizon?
Open to it as always, but probably not. Because again, it's about owning the relationship with the customer and like them really seeing who we are before they buy.
Yeah.
But again, I'm open to it. It's just about finding the right retailers. I mean, if like, for instance, like Apple comes to us and wants to put us in their retail locations.
Yeah.
That would maybe be a great opportunity. We were in like boutiques when we first started out. We were in boutiques in our college town in Lubbock, and the margin just wasn't there. It was really hard communicating with them and keeping everything on track, making sure that they were, you know, agreeing to the right terms. And I didn't like it. I was like, well, let's just do this all ourselves online.
Yeah.
And it was the best decision we made early on.
Yeah, I think it allows you to stay lean. You know, you don't have to have a person to manage these relationships. And
yeah, I mean, because some of these stores wanted like 15 units to start. And we're like, okay, like, you know, sort of making sure they get that. And then we're like, we don't even have any margin on this. Like, this was a complete pointless use of our effort.
Yeah. Do you, in hindsight, is it because you priced the product too low, or is that kind of where you need to be in the marketplace to get traction to?
No, I don't think it was that. I mean, we did have margin, but it was just significantly less than obviously selling direct to consumer, which is kind of the name of the game. The product is priced at a really solid point. In fact, we actually raised the price a little bit right before Black Friday, and we're keeping it there. It's at $32. Sure, you can find some knockoffs cheaper, but we have, you know, with that price increase, we're going to have a lot more flexibility to make sure that there's like an actual sort of warranty on these things. Like if your band ever causes you issues, like we'll replace it, no problem. Like we have way more flexibility for returns and exchanges now. Like it's no problem. Like if you got the wrong size, just let us know. We'll send you the label and you can swap it out and make sure you get the right size. So in something like a $32 product, as opposed to maybe the cheapest one you can find on Amazon's like $15, like you're getting a guarantee that this thing's going to last you a really long time, and like you're going to get taken care of. And you're on the journey with us.
This is interesting, like raising your prices. What was the price before?
Well, 30, and then we tried 29, didn't see a discernible difference, so then we moved it to 32.
Okay. And then have you seen any difference or gotten any feedback from your customers at all?
Not really. It seems to have not affected it too much. I mean, maybe in the conversion rate slightly, but you know, we're usually hanging out around a 3% conversion rate. So
are you going to test going even higher than that?
Probably not. I don't know. It's on the table for the future, but I like that price. It's an honest price. I think going higher than that, it's like, okay, we're really giving ourselves quite the margin here.
Yeah.
Like that's the price that we need to be at to be profitable and also take care of everybody in the right way and make sure that everything's quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, where can people learn more about you or learn more about Braxley?
Yeah. Well, I guess Instagram's kind of the best channel to connect with us at Braxley Bands, and we do giveaways there and try to be really interactive and keep it fun. You can find me at Braxton Manley, and if you ever have any questions, just reach out to me. I'm always happy to like pay the wisdom forward.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess Twitter too. I mean, we're going to try and build a little bit of a Twitter presence. TikTok, all of it.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
You're everywhere. So just search for Braxley and you'll find them.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Well, I appreciate you coming by the office and sharing your wisdom. It's been fun to learn about what you're doing. And, man, I wish I was in your spot when I was your age. So, you know, take advantage of it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the journey. And keep on growing. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been another e-commerce Conversations. Like I just said, cheers. Keep on growing.